My dear students, welcome once again to my class. This is Mohammed Salim Sheikhdar, Assistant Professor, Department of English, now Faisunisa Government College, Laksham Kumilla. In the previous class, we started the discussion of using articles in the gaps. This is the first grammar in English second paper for HSC students. We discussed the differences between the use of a and an. We also discussed some rules. We discussed up to rule number 7. Today, I'm starting from rule number 8. Rule number 8, instead of the same, that means we use a or an instead of the same. If we give the same in the gap, then the sentence becomes a correct sentence. But we know the gap will be for using article. So we cannot use the same. That is why we have to use a or an. Let us see an example. Criminals are dash character. Criminals are the same character. But the same we cannot use. We have to use a. Criminals are a character. Criminals are a character. Birds of the same feather flock together. Choro choro mastudu bhai. Sab shialer ekra. Birds of the same feather, but we cannot use the same. We have to use a. Birds of a feather flock together because the gap will be for an article. Next rule, rule number 9. Instead of on as a disguised preposition, we use a or an as disguised preposition. Example, instead of we went dash hunting, we went on hunting, but we cannot use on. Instead of on, we have to use a or an. He went a hunting. He went a hunting. The baby fell on sleep, but we cannot use on. The baby fell asleep. Instead of on, we have to use a. The baby fell asleep. I think you have understood it. Dear students, articles, the use of articles looks very simple, looks very easy. But if you are not attentive, if you do not practice attentively, you will not get full marks in articles. So these rules are given for you to study minutely, to study attentively, so that you can get or score full marks in articles. And if you follow these rules, I'm quite sure you will get full marks. Rule number 10. When an abstract noun is used as a common noun, an abstract noun, you know what is an abstract noun? You also know what is a common noun? Sometimes abstract nouns are used as a common noun. Here is an example. She is dash beauty. Beauty is an abstract noun, but here it is a common quality of a girl. So it is a common noun here. So she is a beauty. They are a craze. Shah Rukh Khan is a craze. Sometimes we say that. Craze is an abstract noun, but we have to use a before it because it has become a common noun in this sentence. Dear boys and girls, next rule, rule number 11, after what, how, so, as, such, too, many, plus gap plus noun. That means after these words, we have to use a or an before the next noun. Before the next noun. Example, how strange dash boy. How strange a boy. What a nice bird. I have never seen such a good boy. Many an anxious hour was spent in these days. Always remember, after what, how, so, as, too many, we have to use a or an before the next noun. Next rule, rule number 12. Before cough, cold, headache, rage, temper, interest, crime, blunder, sleep, nap, must, we have to use a or an. We have to use a or an before these words. Just memorize these words: cough, cold, headache, rage, temper, interest, crime, blunder, sleep, nap, must. You have to use a or an before this verse. I have a headache. It is a blunder. I have an interest in music. So memorize these words: cough, cold, headache, rage, temper, interest, crime, blunder, sleep, nap, must. Blunder means a big fault, a big mistake, blunder. Rage means to become irritated. Temper means to become irritated. I'm moving to the next rule. Rule number 13. To indicate the creation of any person, we use a or an before the person. To indicate the creation or writing of any person. That means you are reading a book of Shakespeare. You are reading a book of Rabindranath Tagore. You are reading a book of Charles Dickens. Then instead of the book, you have to use, instead of the name of the book, you can use a or an. Example, he is reading a Shakespeare. That means he is reading a book of Shakespeare. I always go to sleep with a Dickens in my hand. With a Dickens in my hand. That means I always go to sleep with a book of Dickens in my hand. So instead of a book of, we use a or an, or a writing of, or a creation of. Next rule, rule number 14. Before some phrases, we use a or an. That means this is not before some phrases. In those phrases, in these phrases, we use a or an as a part of the phrase. As a part of the phrase, it does not follow any rules. It is used as a part of the phrase. In a body. In a body. একত্রে, একসাথে, in a fix. In a fix, সমস্যায় পড়া, in a hurry, তাড়াহুড়ো করা, ইন এ নাটশেল, সংক্ষেপে, ইন এ ডিলেমা, উভয় সংকটে পড়া। সো we use a in these phrases as a part of the phrase. Next rule, rule number 15. When a collective noun is formed with a countable noun before it. When a collective noun is formed with a countable noun, we use a or an before it. We use a or an before it. Example, a batch of students. Students, common noun, but we, countable noun, we form a collective noun with the word batch of. So it has become a collective noun, so we have to use a before it. A batch of students, a group of boys, a gang of rovers, a bunch of graves. We have to use a before this type of collective nouns. Dear boys, no more today. There are a lot of rules we have to discuss in the next classes. So in the examples, I do not write the answers. In my today's lecture, you have to write the answers in a sheet and send me to my email or to my messengers, so that I can understand that you have listened to my lecture very minutely, very attentively. So if you go through my lecture, if you watch my lecture, just send the feedback so that I can know about your opinions. Okay? Till next class, goodbye. Keep safe, be safe, and study.